Disturbing Reddit posts. What is the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life that you can't explain? I was about to cross the street. A lady put her arm across my chest and said, "Wait." As I look at her trying to figure out what is going on, a car crash happens. One of the cars goes tumbling down the street 2 feet in front of me. If she hadn't stopped me, I would absolutely be dead. I turned to look at her again, and she is no longer there. I could see 4 blocks in each direction. Nowhere she could have gone that fast, where I wouldn't be able to see her. Only thing I can come up with is I imagined it happening in my memory due to how tragic the crash was. Never experienced anything even slightly supernatural before or after. However, some comments seem to have an explanation for this. There is an effect in times where you may die, where a seemingly very real person appears near you and gives you advice. Usually, they disappear almost immediately after. It's very common for hikers climbing large, dangerous mountains. They will see some other hiker warning them that it would be dangerous or that they will die, and then they disappear seconds later. You may have experienced that. This is called the third man factor. You can Google it and find different stories of people experiencing this sort of thing. There's one account of a guy who survived 9/11 against all odds and attributes it to someone leading him to ride elevators and encouraging him to keep going down to get out of the building. I had a double mastectomy, and my BP was very low. No one could stay overnight with me because of COVID. In the middle of the night, an old lady came in and held my hand until my nurse came to check on me at 4 a.m. I was not sleeping. I was in a lot of discomfort. I see the door open and the nurse comes in, and I look to my right, and the lady is no longer there. However, my arm was extended and clasped, like I was holding someone's hand. The evening my second son was born, the hospital was so understaffed and overcrowded that I almost delivered in a hallway. Many women go through worse, but made into a room just in time. I understood that there were other women who may have needed more care than I did, but was left alone for such a long time I started to shiver. An older woman with an old-fashioned kitchen apron came in the room and sat on the side of the bed saying, "Everything will be all right," and stroked my arm. At first I thought she was another family's relative and knew my family was not told they could come see me yet. I told my husband to keep an eye on our baby since I knew they were short nurses. I knew I had a fever. I started to assume I was then imagining this woman who was dressed like she left her home in a hurry. About 5 years later, I was cleaning out a box of old photos and saw a picture of this woman. She was my grandmother I had never met. My mom never shared pictures or stories of her as she had died when my mom was a child. It's so mysterious but brings me so much peace that I've stopped questioning it.